Let's talk about the FFG live stream. That was quite a doozy, and especially with the mention of booster packs. Yeah, that's gonna be a thing, and we'll get into that in 1 second. But we have to talk about the most important news we learned from that live stream. They make mistakes too. During their playthrough, watching Caleb and Tony play through the game was kind of fascinating because they made some mistakes. They forgot magnet counters. They forgot when you can actually play cards and whatnot. And it was interesting, and not because I'm trying to call them out, like oh they can't play the game, but because we make mistakes all the time as content creators during live streams or during playthrough videos. And it's nice that, a guy that essentially with Caleb, who should be one of the best players of this game because he should know the rules inside out, he makes mistakes too, right? He makes mistakes too. And that's really cool to kind of hear or to see. So it's just nice, and it's like, it feels good for me. It feels good that, like, hey, it's okay when I make mistakes because this guy makes mistakes. So I'm not calling them out, not making fun of them or anything like that. It's just nice that they're human too and they make mistakes. So there was a couple other like really key note things that happened there. One, another big thing is that they acknowledged that they have been radio silence, right? They call it the elephant in the room, and they acknowledged it pretty early on that they haven't done a great job with that. And what they said is that Tony, is recently on board. He worked on the Mojo pack, and there was a lot of transitioning, a lot of moving parts around, but stuff is coming, right? That's what happened, but stuff is coming, and they didn't really quote unquote apologize, but like they more or less did, right? You're not going to throw your marketing person under the bus and be like, oh, it's still marketing's job, whatever. They said, look, a lot of things are happening, it's moving along, but we will be coming out with more content, which is good news to hear. Now, we talked about previously, like if they just said, hey, more stuff is coming, like, is that going to be a good enough response? Not for some people, right? Some people are still going to be upset about this. Some people are going to be like, well, I wasn't good enough. I want to know more. I want to know more. And I get it. That's fine. But I think there's a right way to handle things and a wrong way to handle things as far as the company goes. And I think this was the right way for the most part. If they just made kind of like a snarky comment, they're like, of course, we're coming out with more stuff. Like that would have been like off-putting, right? That wouldn't have been great. But they took the time, they addressed it early on, and basically acknowledged that, like, yeah, we've dropped the ball on this. There's a lot of stuff going on, but it's coming. Like, it is coming. Don't worry, it is coming. So I think they handled it pretty well. I think that's the best you can expect for them to handle it. And of course, not gonna like throw someone under the bus or anything like that. So I was pretty happy with that. People are gonna be upset and whatnot because they didn't actually announce anything. I get it, right? Whatever. It's not that big of a deal. So that was kind of that. Hopefully we'll hear something soon. But the game's not dead. Yay! So that's cool. And I guess the other thing I found really interesting before we get into the last topic is their play style. It's really fun to watch different people play Marvel Champions. That's how I learn how to play and become a better player, is watching different people. And watching Tony and Caleb go through things was actually really fascinating because one of the big arguments in our community is, do you hold cards, right? I've gotten called out on this, and in a nice way, like not maliciously, but just like, hey, like should he be holding like 1 or 2 cards each round, whatever? Caleb and Tony was sometimes holding 3 or 4 cards, right? And like drawing one. Like it's interesting to see because these, again, are the people that are designing the game, and that's how they play the game, right? That's how they expect to play the game. There was even a point in the live stream where they talked about how that what was it? Oh, he wanted to know if he should throw away Bishop, right? And he was like asking chat about it. And everyone in chat was like, yeah, of course you would throw away. Why wouldn't you? And he was like, oh, like you could tell, like he was kind of like, I don't know if I should actually do this. And it worked out well for him. But it was kind of fascinating in that sense. Watching them interact with chat a little bit was kind of fun. It'd be cool to get one of them on stream and get them to interact. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If you guys watch this, that'd be really cool. But yeah, so it was cool to watch their play style and how they play it versus how the community kind of like understands the game and the best way to play it. I don't know. I thought that was fun and unique. So, all right, the big thing that happened, the big thing that kind of, and if you watch the live stream, I would show it on here, but I don't want to get like copyright infringement and whatever because it's technically their property with video. So I don't want to get hit for anything just in case. I don't know if they would, but just in case I don't want to. During their video, and you could probably see it in the live chat, they showed the boxes and they pulled out these packs. And the second they came out, everyone knew what it was. We all knew it was booster packs. And the initial chat reaction was not good. I think is fair enough to say. People were not hyped and not excited about it. And they try to talk it up. And look, they showed alternative artwork cards, right, for the open play stuff. So if you don't know what open play is, basically it's a way for them to promote the game in local stores to help support local business. And they did these packs, and they're basically booster packs now. Before, you just got a set and you got the stuff and whatever. And the community was not happy about it, and they tried to talk it up and whatever, and then the stream ended, and they even finished the game, which was like a little weird. I wish they would have finished, because they were about to lose anyway, but yeah, whatever, I guess. So what was kind of fascinating with this is that the initial gut reaction was just like, this is a terrible idea and whatever. And there's two ways of looking at things, and there's a line in there that he stated about the open packs, that he said that, we know all of you already own the content, right? They said this on stream. I think it was Josh that said this, if I remember correctly. Josh said this, that we already know you own all the content, but we wanted to give this to the local stores. So there's a big perception that a lot of people believe that Fantasy Flight is doing this stuff to kind of make more money, right? Make you go to the store to buy more of their stuff. And I don't know if that's their position, honestly. I don't think it is. And I'll explain why in a second. But there's two ways of looking at this. There's two ways. And I do think this is a very nuanced topic. First, there's my way. And my way is that I don't have a small board game store within 3 hours of my house. I just don't. I have no ability to get to one unless I drive I think it's like 305, right? It's a lot of time to get to a store, to get it where maybe they have open play. And the other thing they mentioned is that this is English only, and that other countries can get it if they reach out to the store. So it's kind of like a bunch of hoops and whatever. So for me, for previous open play stuff, I've had to go to eBay, right? I've had to go to scalpers, and per open play set, I've paid like 30 or 50 bucks per set. With how they're doing this booster pack, and they're showing that it looks like it's going to be all the X-Men cards and maybe all the old ones too. I don't know. They were kind of iffy about that. They didn't really go into it, but at least all the old cards, that they are going to be doing special artwork for one of the cards in the pack, and the other two are going to be regular artwork, but just the organized play like layout, right? For someone like me to get this, I already recognize it's going to cost me hundreds of dollars. It's going to cost me hundreds upon hundreds of dollars to get all these cards. That's just the fact. That's what it's going to be, because this will be hard to get all of them. And this stinks for people like me. This stinks for people that do have the local game store, but that don't do open play stuff. They are not going to be able to get this stuff. It's just not going to be a thing that happens, unfortunately. Now, I also recognize that Fantasy Flight Games is trying to help out the small and local business. That's why they're doing this, right? This is, according to them, they already said that we have all the stuff, and they just have this stuff on top of it. And this stuff is being handed out for free, right? You don't have to like go and buy it at the store. They're handing it out for free. So they are doing this to support local and small business. And I think the idea is the right idea, right? Local and small business is failing on the gaming store. Not all of the game stores, of course, but there's a bunch that are failing out there, and they need the help that they can get. And I think Fantasy Flight Games is trying to do the right thing to help those game stores. Because look, there's a lot of people like me that either don't have a store, or people that do have a store, but they're just like, it's easy to go to Amazon. And Amazon's killing small business. Let's be frank about this. That's what Amazon is doing. It is undercutting small business and destroying it. That's what they do. And Fantasy Flight Games is doing something to help those business. And I do think that's worth recognizing and talking about and acknowledging. All right. They're not trying to do this to drive up profits or anything like that. That's not what this is. That's the unintended side effect of things, whether it's that there's going to be a scalper market, right? That's not what they want to happen. That is what's going to happen. But in their eyes, they're trying to do something different. They're trying to do something unique to help those businesses, right? Like if you just did the old open play stuff, like maybe that does well, maybe it doesn't. But look, booster packs, I think they're fun. I think they're really cool. I remember the days I was in the Pokemon and opening it up and be like, what did I get this time, right? Like reverse holo, whatever. That stuff is cool. That stuff is fun. And I get they're trying to recreate that. I do. And I think their heart is in the right place. But what I would say is that this is going to cause a lot of issues. This will cause a lot of issues. And I think Fantasy Flight, if they want to do the right thing, I think the right thing is, yes, you give this to local game stores to give out and whatnot. And then I think you give an option to the rest of us to let us buy it for the how much it costs, right, to print it. Give it to Game Center or another third-party distributor, and let them only charge the price of what it costs to print it and ship it, right? Material cost. Don't have businesses losing money on this, but whatever it costs to print and ship, charge us for that, and let us have the opportunity to buy this stuff, right? Because I am going to have to spend hundreds of dollars if I want this, and that's crazy. I'm probably going to have to spend more money on these collection of cards than the entire collection of Marvel Champions, which is crazy saying it out loud. That's crazy. But maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. Depends on how bad the eBay scalpers are. But there are people that are gonna do this, and that kind of stinks. They have to make that decision of, hey, do I get to partake in this or not? So, and if Fantasy Flight Games wants to sell it themselves, that's cool too. And if they're worried about like looking bad to make profit, like donate some money to charity or something, right? That's easy enough to resolve. So, I think there's, again, I think there's a right way and a wrong way of doing this. And I think Fantasy Flight Games has an opportunity to do the right thing, which is, again, support your local game stores. I truly believe that's what they're trying to do, and I commend them for that. I think that's the right thing to do. Anything you do to help out small business, yes, absolutely. But give the option to buy it somewhere else, right? And you can control it, right? Control it through Game Center or whomever else, but control it if you need to. And if you need to do like a slight markup and then donate extra money to charity, do that, right? But give people the option, because this is going to be in a weird spot. This is going to be a weird spot for a lot of people. And I like the idea. I like that they're thinking outside the box. It's just kind of weird. So I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts on it, and we'll see what ends up actually happening with the eBay scalper situation and what they actually do. So anyway, let me know down in the comments, right? Let me know down in the comments what you think about all this, because I think this is gonna be kind of the hot topic moving forward, at least for a little while, especially when the packs come out, right? It's gonna be kind of nuts, kind of crazy. So let me know what you all think. And if you made it to the end of this video, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to subscribe and help me out. And I really appreciate it. And I'll see you all next time.